We're now joined by Dave Ellis, who is Executive Director of the Office of Resilience, the New Jersey Department of Children and Families. Good to see you, Mr. Ellis.
It's always good to see you too, sir.
Absolutely. You have said that there are actually three pandemics in the year 2020. Describe what they are.
Yeah, we talk a lot about COVID. I mean, COVID has taken over. But there's also all of the issues that you see around protests happening in this country. And so you've got 4 years of racialized oppression and other things that are rising up. So there is a pandemic that's actually out there across this country, whether we choose to recognize it or not. The third one is this thing called adverse childhood experiences, the trauma that happens in everyday life. When you put all three of those together, you end up with what I refer to as just a perfect storm of stress and strain within families across this country and indeed around the world.
Yeah, adverse childhood experiences, otherwise known as ACEs. Let me ask you this. To what degree, I mean, we're doing an ongoing series called Confronting Racism. The graphic will be up, but well beyond the graphic, we're committed to an ongoing series that as opposed to, hey, we did that program. That being said, how prepared do you believe most of us citizens in New Jersey are, much less the nation, to confront racism in all its forms?
Well, I'm glad to hear it's not a check off the box series or a check off the box event, Steve.
There is no checking off the box.
Yeah, well, I refer to that because there's lots of folks who want to do like a training. You'll do a training so you can check off the box and say, I did that. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about something much more in depth. I think that if there is ever a time, this will be it. I just moved here from Minneapolis. I was there when George Floyd was murdered. I've been in and among a number of different things across this country. If we can't talk about this now, we've had a real difficult time, I will tell you that. And part of that, from my perspective, is that we're not willing to just allow people who see things differently to even be in a conversation with us. We're not even willing to accept the fact that we are different, each of us, and that we all come with our own worldviews and our own perspectives, and that we have a right to have those based on our world experiences. And until we can accept that, it's really difficult to have the conversation. But I honestly hope that this is the time to have that conversation.
Follow up to that, particularly as it relates to children, we're very invested in an initiative called Reimagine Childcare, formerly known as Right from the Start NJ, all about childcare, all about quality, affordable childcare, particularly in the age of COVID. Our friends at the Terrell Fund are really pushing that. They're supporting it. Let me ask you this. When it comes to childcare, how much more important is it today, quality and affordable childcare, accessible childcare, particularly in the age of COVID?
Steve, what you're talking about is something that has been important and will continue to be important. Quality childcare, and I want to really qualify what I'm saying here. When I say quality, I'm not necessarily talking about who's rated the highest. I'm talking about what actually is quality in what the parents who are receiving the services say is quality. And so I like to put that out there first, because I've been in places where it becomes almost a commercialization, where you're talking about a rating system that if you don't meet this goal, you obviously are not rated high enough, you don't have quality. In my mind, there are lots of quality programs and agencies, some of them just mom and pop, that do tremendous work, especially around culturally specific programming for those kids. And so trying to figure out how we balance quality and quantity can get to be a juggling match that most of us don't want to enter into. I am absolutely a proponent of quality. I want to make sure that folks understand that during this time of COVID, this is an interesting time. Up until now, the saying was, nothing's impossible. And then I hear this thing that says, things are only impossible until somebody does them. And in the time of COVID, we've learned that we can do a lot of things that we thought we couldn't do, that we thought were impossible. Having quality at all of its levels is something that we can do and we need to do for all of our children.
Got a minute left. How optimistic are you?
I wake up every morning, somebody asks me, do I have hope? And I look at them every day, Steve, and I say, I am hope. Every day I wake up, I want to be a beacon of hope for the people of New Jersey, for the people of this country. Because you know what? When I started out, realistically, the level of trauma I've had in my own personal life, the statistics say I should not be here. And yet, here I am. There is hope, Steve. There is always hope. I talk to people often that yellow is the color of hope. I'm always seeing yellow, Steve, always.
So well said. I have a feeling you just have given a whole bunch of folks watching right now a reason, or at least a reminder of the importance of hope. Dave Ellis, who is Executive Director of the Office of Resilience at the New Jersey Department of Children and Families. Mr. Ellis, I want to thank you so much for watching, for being with us, and thank everyone for watching. We wish you all the best, Dave.
I thank you, sir. I leave you with the word sawubona, the Swahili word that says, I see you.
Thank you so much. I'm Steve Adubato. See you next time.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, the New Jersey Education Association, PNC, Grow Up Great, the North Ward Center, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Russell Berry Foundation, and by the Fidelco Group. Promotional support provided by bestofnj.com and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association.
The essence of the North Ward Center is ingrained in our values, thoughts, and actions. What began as a storefront on Bloomfield Avenue has evolved into a life-changing community nonprofit. The mansion is steeped in tradition, but with all of its grandeur, the true essence of the North Ward Center is in the people we serve. So as the North Ward Center commemorates 50 years of service, let's also celebrate the many opportunities yet to come.